Hey, it's Coach Anderson here from Mississippi Public Broadcasting Online, U.S. History from 1877 to present. Today we're going to pick up with Unit 4, The U.S. Becomes a World Power. Lesson number 5, Teddy Roosevelt's Big Stick Diplomacy. Now, when you look at the United States of America, we, in 1898 get involved in the Spanish-American War. And when the war is over with, the United States of America is thrust into a position of becoming a world power. We are on the same level as countries like France, Great Britain, and of course in Spain, who we just defeated. So with that comes the responsibility of the presidents now. How do you navigate foreign affairs and the relationships that you have with other nations, now that you've been thrust on the world stage? Now, a lot of people think that the United States of America, of course, was kind of pushed into this a little bit because we didn't necessarily want to fight the Spanish, but because of some press, of course, with yellow journalists like Joseph Pulitzer, of course, and William Randolph Hearst, here we are. Now what we have to do, of course, is create foreign policies that can help us navigate our new position, of course, in the world. The president, of course, one of the presidents that this falls, of course, on is going to be Theodore Roosevelt, who takes over as president of the United States of America after the death of William McKinley. Now, Teddy Roosevelt's big stick diplomacy was based on something called speak softly and carry a big stick. It was a West African saying copied by Theodore Roosevelt. A lot of people don't know that. It would be that saying that forms the backbone of his foreign policy. His big stick would be the United States Navy, and it would dominate the Western Hemisphere, revitalizing a once ignored Monroe Doctrine. Remember now, we had already created the Monroe Doctrine way earlier, and the Monroe Doctrine simply said that no nation could interfere, of course, in the Americas or the Western Hemisphere without the United States of America's consent. Well, we were too weak as a nation to do anything to prevent nations like France, of course, and Great Britain of doing so. But now that we have, elevated our status in the world because of our defeat, of course, of the Spanish, now that Monroe Doctrine, of course, becomes to be put in play again. Roosevelt cemented his legacy in American history through his no-nonsense approach to promoting American interests, even to the detriment of other nations, making him one of the most celebrated figures in American history. So when you look at that foreign policy, he didn't really care what America looked like in the rest of the world. He was only concerned with promoting American interests. And if somebody else happened to get in the way of that, woe is it to them. Because once again, he was only interested, of course, in promoting American interests. And we're going to find that he's going to use this big stick diplomacy in a couple of cases. The most noteworthy is going to be the Panama Canal, where he basically bullies Colombia into giving the United States of America access to Panama. What we want you to do is complete the video at the end, a video that we have assigned to you. And it's on Big Stick Diplomacy. It's from activity from PBS Learning Media to provide you with a more in-depth look, of course, at the subject. Let Roosevelt's use of the policy guide your reflections. Once you have completed the activities, convert them to a PDF file and turn them to your teacher, of course, to be graded. Once again, when you look at Big Stick Diplomacy, from Roosevelt's involvement in the creation of the Great White Fleet as Secretary of the Navy, to leading the Rough Riders in Cuba, to his vice presidency under McKinley, and his presidency, Theodore Roosevelt was always on the national stage. And the foreign policy choice that he adopts fits his personality, a personality he envisioned America to fashion themselves after. So Roosevelt believed America was destined for greatness and destined, of course, to be the leader of the Western Hemisphere. And because of that, we celebrate him as one of course, America's greatest political figures and historical figures. What we've done, of course, is give you some ideas about Theodore Roosevelt, of course, in Big Stick Diplomacy. We hope you were able to gain a better grasp in terms of what the policy was about. PBS Learning Media provides a whole host of different topics, of course, that afford you an opportunity to get some further in-depth knowledge about the topics, of course, that we go over. But once again, don't take my word for it. Don't even take their word for it. Do your own research, because it's America's history. Remember, if it's America's history, it means your history, which means you should reach your own conclusion. And with that, we'll see you next time.